In the Black Out Loud. The Bias Conundrum. Cognitive bias is hardwired into our brains to help us navigate daily information overload. While it can be very useful, it can also result in inaccuracies not being identified until it is too late. For accounting, the consequences can be disastrous. By Megan Breen. This article has been edited for audio purposes. Article begins. As one of the most notorious cases of accounting fraud in history, the Enron scandal serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of ethical leadership and accountability. It also highlights the role cognitive biases can play in decision-making and how easily those biases can result in a negative outcome. The energy giant's bankruptcy in 2001 was largely caused by aggressive accounting techniques that had been used to hide debt and inflate financial statements. However, executives were also guilty of confirmation bias, overconfidence bias, and anchoring bias, among others. They selectively emphasized positive information while downplaying negatives. This fostered overconfidence about their ability to maintain the company's stock price despite risky financial practices. The artificially inflated financial figures influenced the investors, analysts, and employees who relied on these misleading benchmarks for financial decisions. The reliance on benchmarks is a form of anchoring bias. While the Enron case is an extreme example, cognitive biases can be found in many businesses. If unchallenged, they may lead to negative results. It is important for accounting and finance professionals to avoid slipping into biased decision-making. Cognitive biases are natural and often automatic mental processes that help people make quick decisions and navigate the complexities of the world. People use them every day, and in some situations, they can save time. However, cognitive biases can become problematic when they lead to irrational or incorrect decisions, reinforce stereotypes, or contribute to unethical behaviour. Stephen Asnikar, Director at workplace specialist firm Diversity Australia, says cognitive bias in accounting can occur when professionals unintentionally favour information that aligns with their preconceived beliefs or judgments, potentially compromising the integrity of financial statements. Cognitive biases can lead to some potential distortions in terms of how people approach their decision-making, Asnikar says. Common biases include overconfidence bias, confirmation bias, anchoring bias, sunk cost fallacy, and groupthink. From a financial perspective, cognitive biases should be recognised and managed properly. No one is immune to them. It comes back to accountability and people being prepared to interrogate data properly and seek external review, he says. Given that cognitive biases are so risky, it is important to try to mitigate the impact of biased decisions. Organisational psychologist Dr. Amanda Ferguson says the key to mitigation is to continue to question your reasoning and stay up to date with new research and methodologies. Ferguson says, cognitive bias occurs as a result of taking a shortcut. We're trying to reduce the complexity of a decision, and when we need to act quickly, we might go through a certain way of thinking that we've used in the past. It is natural to create shortcuts because it makes life easier, but the consequence of that is that you're not interrogating information in the way you probably should be, because you're just defaulting to what your brain's telling you is the easiest way. To mitigate it resulting in a biased decision, it is important to take the time to ruminate, to try not to make decisions under pressure, and to get expert and outside independent advice. Most importantly, Ferguson says people need to constantly challenge their own reasoning and adopt a growth mindset. She says, good workplace psychosocial safety can help people recognise that being open to learning is a good thing. It can help identify where biases may be influencing decisions and how to avoid that. In the Black Out Loud.